We welcome each of you, and we welcome His Grace Vishwaroop Prabhu. More than any of you, I am feeling very ecstatic, very happy to have darshan of Vishwaroop Prabhu. Vishwaroop Prabhu has spent more than 30 years in Krishna consciousness, and in fact, he is one of the Siksha Guru of all of us, to whom you are seeing here. And Prabhu is a person of heart. And in fact, in Vishwaroop Prabhu, we are meeting a Brajavasi. So when we came in Krishna consciousness, from very first day, we received a lot of love from Prabhuji directly and a lot of teachings. He's a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. And I remember before this Corona, 2-3 years before, practically every year we used to get his association, as long as all the medical boys were here in Calcutta. And once they shifted for MD, then somehow or other, we couldn't arrange much program for Prabhuji. So Prabhu is a qualified doctor, and he is one of the director of Bhaktivedanta Hospital, which, if I am correct, we started somewhere 20 years before. And this is one of the very big hospital in Mumbai. And in fact, during Corona time, even Bhaktivedanta Hospital brought out a medicine, like we have Coronil from Patanjali, we do have a medicine from Bhaktivedanta Hospital, and in Calcutta also we use that medicine. So we used medicine of Corona, and now today we are here to accept medicine of Karuna from Vishwaroop Prabhu. And since Prabhu has restricted, today's class for 1 hour, so I don't want to waste, this opportunity to take his maximum association. And one of the very big contribution which Prabhu has is developing Barsana and Vrindavan, health facilities. There are a lot of work he has done. I have personally been with him in Vrindavan for Yatra services, and I could see how much he loves Vrindavan and how much Brajavasis love him. And because he was there with us, so we also received a lot of love and mercy from Brajavasis. So we are very much fortunate that we have a senior god brother of ours, Brajavasi, and a very, very mature devotee. So, Prabhu, we all are expecting your valuable guidance and kind words. And we have more or less 95% plus such a doctor devotees who are attending today's class, where you can see some of the faces to whom you know. They are the senior ones, and more or less they have completed now their MDs, and some of them are in process of finishing it. And we do have another batch of around 15 to 20 doctors who have just recently, last 1 or 2 years, they have come and joined Krishna consciousness. So we just seek your blessings and your mercy. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. We welcome.
Hey.
Chant one time Hari Bol together for Prabhuji. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hari Bol,
Yes.
Hari Bol.
Now I over the entire dash to you now, and please proceed and bless us.
Right. So, just to add a few things, myself and Dauji Kripa Prabhu and the team were together in Nepal earthquake services
Yeah.
in 2015.
2015.
They came from Kolkata to Kathmandu and we came from Mumbai to Kathmandu. And we served together for 7 days in many, many villages of Nepal, giving food distribution and Haridam Sankirtan, counseling and medical treatment, especially orthopedic, amazing services. It was a very great experience, and he had got some few tons of grains from Kolkata, and we were making khichdi in ISKCON Kathmandu and serving the devotees and serving the patients and serving the rich people who had become poor due to earthquake. Their bungalows had fallen down and they were staying in tents with no money in the pocket, no food to eat. And they were telling us that we are millionaires, but we don't have any money, any food now.
Yeah.
And we served them with food and we released their tight plasters, They had blue fingers because of that. So many amazing things happened. And one more addition is that we all joined ISKCON in 1983 when we were second MBBS students. Myself and Madhavananda Prabhu and Giriraj Prabhu, Dwarkadish Prabhu, Vaishnav Seva Prabhu. That is one thing. And Bhaktivedanta Hospital was inaugurated in 1998. So we have just finished 23 years
Hari
for,
Bol.
serving in devotion. That is our motto there. And right now, during Corona, amazing things have happened. And as all of you may be knowing or may not be knowing, I'm writing, I've already finished writing the book on the history of Bhaktivedanta Hospital, but some chapters were remaining. That was disaster services and especially Corona services. So I'm writing right now the Corona Lila at Bhaktivedanta Hospital. I'm writing that. I'm writing that now. And I'm also going to write the earthquake services, tsunami services, bomb blast services, flood services, Kedarnath Apada services. And then I'm going to write about many Vaishnav Sevas which we have done in Bhaktivedanta, that is His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj. We have served Yamuna Mataji for months and months together, Giridhari Swami, and many, many Swamis at Bhaktivedanta Hospital. I'm also writing about various departures, various deaths of great souls, like His Holiness Mahavishnu Swami, and so many Gauranga Prabhu's father, and Dwarkadish Prabhu's father, and Paramahamsa Prabhu's mother. So many people, Soka Krishna Prabhu, so many people have left their bodies in Bhaktivedanta Hospital. So I'm writing all these things as an additional chapters in the book that I completed. And for your pleasure, I want to tell you that I am right now at the banks of Ganga in Uttarkashi, Himalayas.
Hari Bol.
Right
So
now,
we have a sadhu from Himalayas today with us.
Sadhu or Bhondu, I don't know. I'm there with you. So welcome all of you. It's quite pleasant over here. It's raining in between. It's cool. It's, Mother Ganga, so beautiful. I just spent 1 hour at the banks of Ganga before I joined you. So my most heartfelt welcome to all of you. And I will offer some prayers and then start my talk. Om Agyanatimirandasya Jnananjnanakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovishtam Tapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupak Kadamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So my first humble request to all of you that please keep your videos on. I am used to speaking to people, not to blank screens. So please our philosophy is personal and we connect to people, not to gadgets and screens. That's first humble request. So Galaxy J7 Max, Sujit Patra, these two people must open their videos because they are right in front of me. So our topic is COVID challenge. And the outside only I want to tell that life is always filled with so many unexpected, unwanted, undesirable calamities. And they strike us at the most, unaware moment of life. We don't expect that. We never expected 2020 will be like this, the way it went. And we never thought 2021 will be also like that, the way it went, maybe the worst situation than 2020. So, padam padam yat vipadam natesham. Life is always filled with unexpected calamities. Forget Corona. Minus Corona also, life is always filled with so many calamities that we don't expect. In the Corona also we have seen people dying of accidents, people dying of complications of deliveries, people dying of heart attacks not connected to COVID, some connected to COVID also. So, and you may be very surprised to know that at every minute in this world, 250 people die. 250 people die at every minute in this world. And only 19 of them are COVID. Even today, in COVID pandemic situation, out of 250 deaths, only 19 deaths per minute are of COVID. So COVID is not something which is most dreadful and most fearful and most threatening to all of you. No, there are more road accidents, deaths than COVID. There are more suicides than COVID. Can you believe that? There are more suicides per minute happening in the world than COVID deaths. But those are not highlighted. Some of COVID is highlighted because some fear wave is going by. So there are many points which I would like to tell you. The first and foremost point is army. When somebody joins army, he's selected and he joins. What is the understanding of that army fellow or the soldier that he has joined the army? That there will be war one day and he will have to go in front line to fight the war. It's understood. He's getting trained for what? Not for fun, not for having some competition in Olympics. That is getting training for all that. So that means even if somebody is a cook in army or somebody is a security guard in the army, he only guards the door of the big officers or lieutenants. But when war comes, he is trained in his training to lift the gun, stop his security job, lift the gun and shoot. The cook will stop his cooking, lift the gun and go and shoot. That is the primary understanding of joining army. So if suppose all the time they got trained and then war was declared and then they report sick, then what kind of soldiers they are? What kind of army men they are? Similarly, we are doctors, and when we have taken admission in medicine, it is understood that there will be an epidemic sometime, there will be an epidemic sometime, there will be a pandemic sometime, there will be medical disasters, road accidents multiply, there may be epidemics of H1N1, there may be bird flu, there may be so many things. There may be bomb blasts, which will bring you, like we got 43 patients, multiply, mutilated bodies, deceased with bomb blast. They came to us together on one fine day, one fine evening. So, as we take admission in medicine, it is understood that these things will happen. And it is also understood that we will be there in front line to help those people in such kind of calamities. We cannot report sick when there's a pandemic or endemic situation. We cannot report sick when there is accidents which will bring 50 patients, 100 patients sometimes, a disaster, external disaster, a natural calamity of earthquake or tsunami or floods or Tyokta or Katrina or Nisarga. There are so many things happening. Hurricanes, tornadoes. So we cannot report sick. We have to be right there. Why we have got so much training? I think we have the best training how to protect ourselves from corona. We can teach people. We can follow ourselves. We can wear all the guards and go in front line to save people who are looking up to you, that you will save them. But what actually exactly happened in the beginning of corona pandemic, even in government hospitals, private hospitals, all doctors absconded. They were not ready to report. Nurses were not ready to come on duties. They were peeping from the compound wall of the hospitals. What's happening? It was a very pathetic situation. But amazingly and fortunately and very mercifully by the Lord, Bhaktivedanta Hospital team was right there from day one. They were not happy to sit at home. Few days we made them sit at home because we were not sure what's going to happen. But all of them came on board. How did they face COVID challenge? I'm proud to tell you that I have got colleagues in Bhaktivedanta Hospital who got admitted, doctors and nurses got admitted in the hospital in the ICU 2 times for 10 days. In front of my eyes, they collapsed while standing. So much morbidity, so much of pain, so much of diseased condition was there because of COVID-19. But within 7 days, they have come on duty back again. ICU doctors, all of them got COVID while treating patients. One time they got COVID admission for themselves, and second time they got some complications of COVID. They got again admitted in the ICU. Every time they took 7 days rest and they came, while we advise people to take 3 months rest at home before they join any heavy duties. So almost all Bhaktivedanta hospital staff have got COVID. Only few are like myself. Although we are in the middle of the situation, still we did not get the infection. But all our family members got, all our colleagues got, majority of doctors got, nurses got, but nobody stopped working because of that. Nobody resigned or ran away because of that. So what I'm trying to convey to you is that we need to have that spirit, that the knowledge and the skills and the experience and the inspiration that we have received. We all have to stand by that, be loyal to that, whatever mercy we have received through the knowledge, the special position. And not fear, because as I told you, there are 250 deaths happening in a day in the world. So if we are not going to die by COVID only. If we are saved by COVID, not by dying by COVID, we can die by accident. We can die with heart attack. We can die with so many other complications. So death is all around, not because of corona. Death is all around every single day. This is Mrityu Loka. This is not Jivan Loka. This is Mrityu Loka. Specifically, nomenclature is given. Name is given. Mrityu Loka. So what do we expect in Mrityu Loka except Mrityu? The most common and the most frequent event here is Mrityu. And we all are subjected to that risk. And the death rate is 100% here. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur. And everyone who has taken birth is going to die. So what are we doing here? We are supposed to help people who are in pain. Those who are going to die, they will die, but we will try to alleviate. Natvaham jatunasam, natvam neme, natvaham kamaye rajyam, nasvargam na punarbhavam, kamaye dukkhataptanam, praninam artinashanam. It means I do not want Swargaloka. I do not want rebirth. I do not want wealth. What do I want? Praninam artinashanam. I have only one desire, that I can relieve arti, that is pain, of all the living entities in my lifetime. That is the motto of medical professionals. That I am only interested in alleviating, reducing the pain of all those who come across me. Maximum possible number of people in this world, I want to alleviate their miseries. So this is our greatest fortune. You'll be very surprised to know, I had no interest in medicine. I was a compounder, making mixtures and making tablets and powders and pudis in my brother's clinic when I was 10-year-old boy. From 10-year-old boy to 15-year-old age, from 5th standard to 10th standard, I was working as an assistant in my brother's clinic as a compounder, giving injection, cleaning injections, making mixtures. And I had developed dislike for medicine that time only. I thought that time I'll never become a doctor because I don't like this, seeing patients and everything. I wanted to become IITian and I got admission in Bombay IIT, by the way, in 1980. But somehow my father could not send me because he could not afford IIT expenses. So I was forced to go to medicine. And I thought, why I'm here? I don't like it. I hate it. But then I understood that this is because now I'm a doctor and I was a doctor from 1985. I could do so many things as a medical doctor. And now I understand why Krishna pushed me in medicine. Because when I had to go to medicine against my will, I became very philosophical. What is destiny? Who is the Lord? Who is controlling destiny? What is karma? Is there any value for my hard work that I got admission, but still I have to go here? Who decides all these things? What is life all about? All those philosophical mindset was there. And that led me to ISKCON. And I became a devotee in the meantime. I became a rebel. And then I became a devotee. And now today I understand why all this Leela took place. After 35 years of being a doctor, I now understand. It was a great fortune and Lord's mercy upon me that I could become a doctor and I could do so many things which I could not have done as an engineer in IIT. So first and foremost, there is nothing to hide that I will not go, I'm scared, I will get COVID, I'll die. Yes, it is true that 800 plus doctors in India have died in COVID because of frontline service. But it's a glorious death. I would love to have such death. If I'm serving COVID and I lay my life, I think I'll be very fortunate. I will consider myself fortunate. If a soldier dies fighting for his country, Bharatvarsha, to maintain the dignity of Bharatvarsha, it's a glory to that person to die in the battlefield, protecting the sanctity of India. Similarly, it is not something which is scaring. You should be proud in doing whatever we are doing. Lord is in control. I'm 100%, much more than 100% convinced, and I've been telling all doctors and nurses in the hospital that your service, what you have done in COVID, is specifically registered and noted by the Lord, and you will be rewarded in a very special way by the Lord. Because the service which is most needed, most intensely required, when that time you offer the service, most needed time, you are rewarded the most. At leisure times, at comfort times, everybody can do service. Happy-go-lucky service, you're taking photographs and having glories and names and everything is all right. But doing this service in the most needed hour, in the most dreadful hour of everybody's life is most important. Like for example, me and Dauji Kripa Prabhu went to Kolkata for earthquake. That time earthquake situation was only in Kathmandu, in Nepal. All other countries were all right. So help were coming there. Everybody was coming there to help and sending help. But COVID is not like that. Everybody is in COVID. So who is going to help everybody? So in this situation, we only have to help our people. I can't go to Kathmandu to help Nepalese at this time. The Nepali doctors will do there. And I will do help to my people when I am available, wherever I am available. So this is a unique situation of mindset. So first and foremost, we should feel ourselves proud and privileged to serve. That I am a doctor, I am a blessed soul who have been bestowed upon with this knowledge. And second thing is, the Lord is watching everybody. Who is doing what in crisis? It is also said, you are what you do in crisis. The way you are and way you think in crisis, that is what you actually are. It's like when you squeeze an orange, when you squeeze an orange, that time you come to know what is inside the orange. So when the orange undergoes stress, what it gives orange juice. So that's why we should become like the orange, When we are under stress, we get squeezed by situation. Orange juice should come out. That means service compassion, love should come out. This is not my statement. This is the statement of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami. We all should strive to become like an orange. The more stress you put, the more juice the orange gives. That is our that reveals our true nature. So let us all become brave soldiers as doctors. And COVID is actually a blessing in disguise. No doubt people are dying. We can't call it as a good event. It's a very sorry event. But COVID has opened our doors and windows of heart to a lot of realities of life, to learn what the life is all about, to learn how to behave with nature, to learn how not to behave with nature, to learn how to respect nature, to how to take care of ourselves, how to not pollute the nature, how to make it clean, how to live very harmoniously with nature. So many things we have learned. And we should not forget that. Many people have become very spiritual, if not all. Many people have become very religious. They have been asking questions. Many people have become very generous. They have donated for very nice cause, philanthropic cause, spiritual cause. They have become very spiritual. Many people have taken up the process of sadhana and chanting. And we have taken all the benefit of the situation and help people to become spiritual along with our quality medical care. I can tell you one thing. First of all, what we did, we helped the government, our local government in Mira Bhayandar in Thane district. There was a closed hospital which had 250 beds, 4 acres area. It was closed, defunct. We as Bhaktivedanta Hospital started that hospital in 13 days with 20 bedded ICU with ventilator and 250 bed active. We made it active in 13 days time. And about 8,000 people were served through that government hospital which we started, which was closed. The government could not believe that in 13 days we could do what they did not do for so many years. Such a beautiful plot and property and construction that they did. Then that got filled up. There was so much of number of patients. Then we offered one of our hospitals. That's called PV Doshi Hospital. It's our hospital, our branch in Mira Road. And we established 65 beds of COVID in that as a dedicated COVID hospital. And we served throughout the COVID last year. Then that also got filled up and there are more patients. So we opened up 55 beds in Bhaktivedanta Hospital on 5th and 6th floor. And we maintained Bhaktivedanta Hospital as non-COVID hospital. And we did deliveries, we did fractures, we did heart attacks, we did so many other non-COVID diseases which were having no places in the world. So everything was turned into COVID hospital. So all these non-COVID cases were wondering what to do. So all those emergency services we did. In the middle of the night, we did angioplasties. In the middle of the night, we did stenting in the brain for strokes. In the middle of the night, we did complicated deliveries. We served fractures in accidents. There are so many records are there. We cannot even write in the book also. There are so much record is there. And most of them were treated free of charge because they had no money. A bus conductor at 2 o'clock in the morning gets a stroke and our interventional radiologists come running at 2:30 in the golden hour and puts a stent in the vessel in the brain. And in the evening, next day in the evening is walking, who had a paralytic stroke. Such kind of service, the bill was 2.5 lakh rupees because of the high-tech service, but the bus conductor did not have a penny also. And there are so many stories I can tell you that we did. Because time was such that time was not to ask money. There's no question of asking money. It will be too inhuman, too uncompassionate activity. So such, crores of rupees seva we did during Corona times. Non-COVID services and COVID services. COVID patients would always come and when they will come inside, the minimum bill would be 1.5 lakh rupees. Because the medicine itself will be costing 27,000 rupees, 14,000 rupees, one injection will cost. So bills would be always 1.5 lakh rupees, 2.5 lakh rupees. And people didn't have money. So whatever they gave, we took, and remaining we just managed with donations. because it was the need of the hour. Many people in the world exploited the situation. They charged very exuberantly, fabulously, and made crores of rupees. In Marathi, we say that some people also eat the butter from the skull of the dead man. Like the crow comes and eats the butter from the skull of the dead man. So many such crows and vultures are waiting for calamities to come so they can exploit. And many people have exploited. But Bhaktivedanta Hospital, by the mercy of the Lord, has charged people very legitimately, bearing losses. In fact, bearing losses rather than making benefits, and served the humanity. So that is what we are here for. Our spiritual knowledge combined with medical knowledge is meant for delivering compassion, and that too in normal hours and more so in the dreadful calamity hours. We are supposed to extend our compassion. It's like the more calamities come, the more compassion should flow out of our hearts. More kindness should flow. More dedication, more samarpan should flow out of our hearts. In fact, the calamity should push you and push us to become more compassionate in action. Fear should not be present in our dictionary at all if we are doctors. Why fear comes? Because fear comes because of selfishness. Fear comes because of attachment. And why? How you become fearless? When you totally depend on the Lord and you're out to serve people who are suffering, fear runs away. The nurses and the doctors, when as long as they were at home, they were telling we are very fearful, we are very scared, the television is scaring us every day. But when they came on duty and they joined duty in serving the distressed, they said, "Sir, the fear has gone away. There's no fear now. At home we were safe. And in the hospital, we are in risk in the middle of COVID patients. But in the hospital, in the middle of patients, we don't feel scared now because we are busy in serving. We are busy in serving and receiving their blessings. In Bhaktivedanta Hospital, the doctors and nurses and the paramedicals had to go anyways, they were going and serving. But it is the only hospital in all over the world where the spiritual care people who are non-medical people, they were wearing the level 2, level 3 PPEs, protective kits, and they were going to the patients and giving them spiritual care, chanting Narsingham prayer, talking to them, counseling to them, because no relative and no friends, no visitors were allowed to meet as a policy all over the world. The worst thing in Corona was not Corona, the loneliness that they felt in the hospitals where nobody would be able to see them. The wife, the children, the mother, the husband, nobody could see the patient. Even the patient died, no relative could see. They were cremated by government and you could see them by 20 feet distance, completely covered with face also. In such situation of loneliness, frustration, the disease itself was taken care by our spiritual care people. They're not doctors. They should be 10 times more scared than doctors and others because they have knowledge. But they were inspired and they went. And many people received end of life care also, Ganga Jal, Tulsi also at the moment of death. Many people received counseling. Many people received books. Many people received malas. Many people heard kirtan every single day. Today also we are doing it. We thought that COVID is over, so we converted PV Doshi Hospital in normal hospital again. Within 1 month, we had to again convert it into COVID hospital. Again, the 65 beds were created, and more ventilators were created. More intermediate care was created. So what I'm saying is, we don't even know what is going to happen in future. But Marathi mein there is one saying is there. Sadaiva Sainika पुढेच जायचे न मागुती तुवा कधी फिरायचे. The meaning is, oh soldier, you have to always march ahead. You should never, you are not supposed to look back. Na maguti tuva kadi firaise. Never look back. You're always supposed to march in front. Sadaiva, all times. Oh Sainika, oh soldier, pudece jayase. Keep going ahead, keep marching ahead. Let the world, let the Vidhata, let the providence, drown us with calamities. No problem. As long as there is life in me, I will keep serving. And Lord is watching that. That's why I again and again say we are blessed souls. Because we are having the ability and opportunity to serve in the most distressful situations. Who are today worshipped? Only doctors and nurses. Rest all are there doing their jobs. But the saviors, the farishte, the angels of the Lord are medical people. That's why I feel that all of us are very fortunate. That's why we have to be always ready that my Lord has blessed me with this knowledge and training. I have to be available. I have to lay my life down. If Lord wants me to be saved, He will save me from COVID. If Lord wants me to die doing service of COVID, I will be ready to die. Because that way I will attain the Lord. Because I serve my COVID patients with God consciousness. I serve them in God consciousness, seeing the Lord's presence in them and serve them in that mood. That is what our privilege is. So there are a lot many stories, and there were financial distresses, the financial breakdown was there. People are so amazing in Bhaktivedanta Hospital. The doctors came forward and told, sir, don't give us salaries now, no problem. There can be a cut in salary, there can be no salary. We are there with you, sir. Don't worry. We will fight the battle as a family. It's a family crisis. We have shared profits with you in the form of increments in the past. Now, if we are in distress financially, we will also bear the consequences of financial losses. One whole year we did not pay doctors fully. 3 months we didn't pay single rupee to them. Then we paid 20%, then we paid 40%, then we paid 50%, then we paid 60%. And after 1 year, we brought them back to normal salary again. Doctors and the poor people like housekeeping and nursing, we never cut down their salaries. But they also were ready to give their share. The most amazing thing happened in Bhaktivedanta is in that financial distress situation, each and every employee contributed 10% of their salary for a emergency COVID fund, so that any of our medical colleague in the hospital, if he gets COVID or if his family members get COVID, so we will bear the expenses from that fund. And it was not less amount. It was 40 lakh rupees, which we created in 10 days by voluntary contribution. And that was used to help our staff members and their family members. We also lost a few, not very, maybe about 10 people we lost in the family of Bhaktivedanta Hospital during COVID. But what I am telling you is the spirit is so inspiring. To stand for the occasion is the spirit of Bhaktivedanta Hospital. And it not necessarily has to be there in Bhaktivedanta Hospital only. It has to be in every person. To stand for the occasion, to rise for the occasion. In Bhaktivedanta Hospital, when Nepal earthquake took place, there were huge crowd. Sir, mujhe bhi aana hai. Sir, I want to come. Sir, I want to come. We have to deny people. It's a very unusual situation. In a disaster situation, you don't know where to get your food, where you'll stay, whether there will be electricity or not, what will be the transport. We don't know anything. But people are always ready. From 2001, I am watching. Because I went for the first time in 2001 for earthquake in Bhuj, Gujarat. In January 26th, there was a huge earthquake. From that time, I'm watching every calamity. The family of Bhaktivedanta is flocking in large numbers to volunteer to go to that disaster area. And we have to tell no to people, convince them, sorry, we can't take you. We'll take you next batch. So that spirit we have to adopt. And if I serve, then Lord will protect me. If I go and alleviate pain of others in the most distressful situation, Lord will take care of me. In life or death, Lord will take care of me. Because Lord's ways are divine. If I die in Corona, the Lord will take me back to Godhead with Him. If I live in Corona, I don't die. I am here to available to serve people who are suffering from Corona. So all these emotions and mindset and thought process is only because of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness makes us fearless. Krishna consciousness makes us compassionate. Krishna consciousness makes us service oriented. Krishna consciousness makes us selfless. All these things are naturally the attributes of people who are Krishna conscious. That's why we urge you, gather your knowledge more and more in depth. Chant Hare Krishna and cultivate this consciousness. You will be the most precious souls in this world. You will be most wanted because you are not only sacrificing your life and time, but you are giving them in this crucial hour of life Krishna consciousness. You are serving them in Krishna conscious mood. You are giving them Krishna. Even if they are dying, you are giving them Krishna. If they are living, you are giving them Krishna. You are giving your compassion and kindness to them. Everybody served in Corona in medical way, but Bhaktivedanta gave spiritual care also. Today also there are kirtans taking place. So only ICU in the whole world where ICU, chief ICU doctor, chief ICU nurses, RMOs, all are doing kirtan in ICU. Every single day it is happening. They pray for the people who are suffering from Corona. This particular aspect is so crucial. It's giving hope to people. Yes, someone is praying for me along with the Corona treatment. He is praying for me also. The doctor is so kind. Nurse is so kind. She is spending some time to pray for me. Where her family members also are getting sick with COVID. She also has got sick with COVID many times. I mean, one time and many sequelae have happened. But still she is on board and still she is serving and she is praying also for us. That is what is glorious. So I'm not here to glorify ourselves, but I'm telling you that what I observed in my family of Bhaktivedanta is so inspiring. And I'm very proud to be part of that family who bears that mood, who bears that attitude of standing, rising on occasion, fearlessly, selflessly, months after months. And now second wave also has come. Still they are serving. And second wave, I think all remaining people also got COVID in Bhaktivedanta Hospital. So a tight circus was there. People on board getting sick, then they are sent on quarantine at home. They are not available to serve. And how to manage duties, how to manage night duties, how to manage ICU duties. All that circus was being done and is being done today also. But it's our privilege. It's our privilege. Instead of sitting at home as a non-medico watching television, I'm a medico. I'm right in the field. I'm seeing the smile on people's faces when they are getting well. I'm seeing the smile on the people who are lonely in the ward when we meet them, when they receive Prabhupada's books, when they receive mala, and they are seen chanting in the ward of COVID. Such a fortunate scene. So let us all join hands together, fearlessly, selflessly, compassionately, to serve people who are suffering in the name of the Lord and receive His ultimate blessings, which are available during these times. All the worst calamities turn out to be good for those who serve the Lord, who love the Lord and serve the Lord. All the worst things in life turn to be blessings for those who serve the Lord, who love the Lord. Hare Krishna. So if there are any questions, most welcome to ask the questions. And don't worry, I can give some more time also.
Very good. So yes, devotees, the forum is open for the question, and Sachin Prabhu wants to ask a question.
Yes, Sachin Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
It's a great fortune to have you here. Thank you so much. We met in Jaipur, Prabhuji, in
Ah,
Jaipur marriage.
yeah. Yes, very much, very much.
Yes. Prabhuji, right now we see a lot of pictures of doctor getting beaten up on WhatsApp and any other social media, and everybody is very disheartened. And uh,
Good. You asked that question. I wanted to address that issue also, but I missed that.
and feeling that privilege to serve others, it is a privilege, but then when you see this much chaos going around, then sometimes you feel disheartened that there is nothing for us. Even after we do something, we'll be seen as looters and doctor to aisa hai वैसा है.
Yeah, and there are two reasons behind it. One is that medical people, medical fraternity has become greedy, has become exploitative. It has been happening. It's not that I cannot take names, but I can tell you I have so many hospitals around us and in Mumbai have looted people like crores of rupees. They have looted people. Crores of rupees. They have bribed the government people not to come and take rounds there. They have managed all the government guys who come on the rounds to check all these things. They have sent crores of rupees package bribes to government people, made crores of rupees. So the agitation is natural in people. People are not fools. They were not beating doctors before. Why they beat now? Because they have seen people. That's one reason. And second thing, also when there is general bad feeling about doctors, even good doctors get beaten because of the. It is a saying in Marathi that when you burn, along with dry things, even wet things get burned, right? Fire doesn't differentiate. When fire comes up, it burns everything, dry and wet, everything. Wet is not supposed to be burned, but it also gets burned. So similarly, because we are doctors, everybody thinks, oh, all doctors are rascals, all are cheaters, all are exploiters. So, but I'll tell you one story which will answer your question, what we should do. The story is like this. There was one sadhu taking bath in the river. Huh? And while he took bath and he was offering his arghya to sun god, a scorpion came and stung him. And with a jerk, he just left the scorpion. His scorpion fell in water and started drowning. So again, the sadhu lifted the scorpion to save him from drowning. And again, the scorpion stung him. And to cut the story short, this happened tens of times. Not one time. Maybe 10, 20 times it happened. He would save the scorpion would sting him. Then a fellow sadhu was passing by. He was watching him for a long time. He was saying, Maharaj ji, kya kar rahe hain? What are you doing? The scorpion is stinging you. And you are still saving like a fool. Why are you saving him? Let him die. You save yourself. So sadhu answered, if the scorpion is hell-bent upon his nature of stinging and not giving up stinging after so many times also, why as a sadhu I should give up my nature of compassion? If he is so hell-bent upon his nature, why should I give up my nature of being compassionate? So I'm not saying that you should get beaten up, but God forsaken, if it happens, don't give up your compassionate nature. It's a disease of the world, not of you. The world is diseased to come and beat the doctors. It's a very ghastly situation. The people are beating the people only who are saving people. That is their disease. But that doesn't mean that I get affected by their disease and stop serving them. I have faith in my Lord. I am serving the patients in the name of the Lord, in God consciousness. Lord will protect me. So there are many disheartening things in the world. So in that case, you should not take admission in medicine only. Forget medicine. Go and become some IT person or something. Nobody will beat you. But then, if you don't become a doctor and you get COVID, who will treat you? The doctor. If the IT guy gets COVID, who will treat him? The doctor. So if I choose not to become doctor, I also need the doctor. So if everybody decides not to become doctor, then who will be the doctor to treat you when you need him the most? So there is risk in everything in life. Even in getting married, there is a risk. But don't you get married still? The big risk in getting married. Huh? But still we all are married and we are going to get married. So if you are ready to take such kind of risk, then you have become doctor already now. You are already in. You are already in the water. You have to better learn swimming. There may be fishes, there may be scorpion, there may be snakes in the water. But now you are in the water. See how you can protect yourself. and see how you can swim and how you can serve. It's very easy to say for me, but I am telling you with conviction that it's not that Bhaktivedanta Hospital doesn't get attacked. We also have been attacked many times, but that doesn't mean that we have closed our services and we have made it a guest house in all the rooms. No, we are still serving. We have been harassed by government in COVID times. Harassed means harassed like anything. They wanted to convert the whole hospital into COVID out of political motivations. But we fought and we gave up one hospital for COVID and maintained our non-COVID services because we were knowing that non-COVID services are very crucial. So there's no need to fight. We could have given up the fight. But we kept on the fight. We fought socially, we fought politically, we fought medically, we fought from all angles. The fight was very intense and fierce in COVID. The society whom we served, I'll tell you one story that we started when we started our one branch as COVID hospital. It was in the middle of the society, in the middle of population. So all the surrounding buildings, they were, they धरना रखा, धरना दे दिया उन्होंने गेट पर आके, नहीं करेंगे यहाँ पर कोविड, नहीं करने देंगे. It was big ruckus. We had to really be very political and very, take police help and somehow stop the agitation. And lo and behold, some of the people who were doing agitation in the gate of the hospital, they got COVID and they got admitted in our hospital only, the same hospital against which they were fighting. And they were with folded hands, begging forgiveness. Sir, please maaf kar dena. Please forgive us that we were stopping you. We were doing political agitations against you. But you have saved our lives today. Please forgive us. The political people who are doing propaganda and bad moves against us, finally they came and told us, now we have come to know you are the only people who are serving genuinely the COVID patients. So please, when we get COVID, accept us as patients. The commissioner has told this to us. We are sorry for disturbing you and troubling you because we were helpless. But please, when I get COVID, please admit us in your hospital. Your hospital is in demand by patients. By choice, they want to choose Bhaktivedanta Hospital because of two reasons: because of genuine treatment and genuine billing. They have developed a full faith. So don't close down. When the second wave came, they first called us, please open your hospital immediately. People are asking for your hospital. So, see, Prabhuji, difficulties will be there always. In anything you do, there will be difficulties. But do you give up everything because of that? No. You keep doing because you're convinced. So keep doing what you're convinced of. Don't worry about these things. Okay? Any other question? Any other question?
Hare Krishna, any other questions by anyone? Prabhu, I have one question.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
What you shared is so wonderful, and so inspiring. But then it must be the years of cultivation of this consciousness that our prime motto of life is only service. And to come to this level of selfless service, this requires a lot of internal preparation also. So if you could share with us that, last 35 years, what are the principles and the values and, the inspiration which all of you are carrying for Bhaktivedanta Hospital like this, what made it like this? I'll be grateful
Most
to
important is association of like-minded people. If you are, as a medical people, are in the company of cheaters, exploiters, and opportunistic people, then you will become like that. And if you are in the company of people who are dedicated, selfless, committed, genuine people, then you will become like them. And that principle of association with good people we learned in ISKCON. Unfortunately, we had like-minded doctors who became devotees at the same time when we became devotees. So we were 5 and we came together and we started. And the 5 became 10 and 10 became 20, 20 became 25 and 30 and 40. And there are hundreds today. So it gave us faith that this works. It's not that only I'm a devotee, everybody else is a not practicing devotee. So what is most important is these years, formative years of your studies. Cultivate this particular consciousness. When you sweat during peace, then you don't bleed during war. So all of you are now studying. That means you should sweat during this peaceful time before going to battlefield. When you sweat, then you will not bleed. So sweating also means cultivation of the mood, the mindset that is required to become a doctor. Doctors were worshipped before as God. Next to God, doctors were there because they were selfless. They were not even charging before in the Vedic times. Okay, we are charging is all right, but there should not be exploitation. And that mood was given by Guru Maharaj Radhanath Swami, and that mood was practiced over the years. And that mood only, I think, has given us a blessing of Bhaktivedanta Hospital. What we were small students. We were having 400 rupees, 700 rupees stipend as an intern. How could we ever construct a hospital that time in 1998, which is 15 crores, while we were charging 30 rupees for consultation? How can we imagine that we will build? But it is a blessing of the Lord, of the unity in service that we had. Lord blessed us with that in response. The 15 crore hospital, which today more than 100 crore worth. So these miracles we have seen when we have practiced that philosophy in unity with the doctors who are similar minded. The miracles have taken place. Today also we pinch ourselves. Is this hospital ours? It was a dream before. It has become a reality today. Over 23 years have passed also. Another hospital, now there are 14 hospitals, believe me. We are not one hospital, we are 14 hospitals now. And plus the mother hospital in Bhaktivedanta Hospital in Mira Road is coming up with a similar building, same building, 9 floors just behind. Just delayed because of Corona. Otherwise this April it was inaugurated. We are going to inaugurate in next January. Now are we in a position to build 100 crore worth hospital now? No. But still it is coming up. We have purchased 5-acre land in Barsana to build a hospital there. And we are starting after Corona because Corona again delayed us. In front of the ISKCON Mira Road, BBT had land, about 2 acres. That also we have purchased to build medical college over there. To build a nursing college, already we have, but we will have a building for skill development. Now you can tell me, we are small, lower middle class boys. We became doctor and we started small village services and free of charge and everything. How we can ever dream to have 6-floor hospitals having 80,000 square feet? And another same building is coming up behind with 67,000 square feet, 9 floors. How we can ever imagine that we can do it? But it's all happening in front of our eyes. All happening. And this miracle is happening in response to the unity in service. That is my firm conviction. So it's not that we are some great angels who came from sky. No. You all are also having equal opportunity. Come together, cultivate Krishna consciousness, be together, united in service, serve people, then Lord will do miracle in your life also. That is my hardcore realization. Practical experience realization. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. One more question, Prabhu. As the doctor life itself is quite hectic. I'm not a doctor, but since preaching, them, I have learned this, by seeing their life, quite a hectic life. And devotion itself also requires a good amount of balancing, right? So, what are those important principles and the values which particularly a upcoming devotee, particularly those who have just, started their bhakti for last 1 or 2 years, and even for those who are senior, so they'll be also getting into Grihastha ashram. So there are 3 things they have to balance now: being a doctor, being a family man, and also a devotee. since you are the three altogether, you are the best person who can answer on this.
Bus keep everything in his own place. Huh? Like play while you play, chant while you chant, study while you study. What was the motto given to us in studying time? Study while you study, play while you play in childhood, you know. That means keep things in their own place. There is a time in the day in 24 hours where you need to pray. There's a time in the day when you need to serve and work in medical field. There's a time in a day when you need to be with family, eat with them, to spend some time with them. So offer, give proper priorities. Write down the priorities. These are my priorities and place them number one, number two, number three, and give them their own importance. And most importance, how can you give? By giving time. So give time to Lord at its own time. Give time to serve in the hospital and medically in their own time. Give time to your wife and children in their own time. And when it becomes night, you sleep also. Take care of your body, right? Don't overdo anything. As doctor, don't work 15 hours because it's giving more money and more name and more fame. That will ruin your family life. That will ruin your spiritual life. You have to balance it by giving. When you like what is Bhaktivedanta Hospital doctor doing? He gets up in the morning and he chants 2 hours, and then he comes on his duty. So he has given time to his Lord by charging his spiritual batteries. Then he comes on duty. He works for 8 to 10 hours, sometimes 12 hours. Then he goes home, spends time with his family, reads some half an hour Prabhupada books, and he goes to sleep. On the day of call, there's emergency, so he's disturbed in the night. It happens sometimes on the call. But they manage. There are nurses which are devotees. They have 3 shifts. They work in 3 shifts. So when there is morning shift, they chant 8 rounds in the morning and they 8 rounds in the evening after they go home. When there is second shift from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., they chant everything in the morning. When there is night shift, they do go home and chant in the evening. After sleeping in the daytime, they chant in the evening before going to work at 9 p.m. So when priority is set up, then you know exactly when to do what things. When there is no Hare Krishna, then what happens is, if there is duty at 7 o'clock, the doctor will get up at 6:30, rush to the bathroom, 10 minutes may brush and to shishi and to bath and run to hospital. Biting his bread and sandwich, he will run to the hospital. That is a non-Krishna conscious person's life as a doctor. There's nothing rejuvenation, only rejuvenation is sleeping and drinking alcohol. But here we know exactly how to recreate, how to rejuvenate ourselves. All of us do yoga and pranayam also regularly, although we are medical doctors, because we know how to compartmentalize our life and how to prioritize and how to give time in a balance. And that we will teach you if you don't know. But I think you know. You always know where to give priority. But in Krishna consciousness, we learn to give best priority. We know where to put first in first. We know what is first and we know how to put it in the first position. Otherwise, you tell me, how can I be smiling and laughing? It's not possible. Unless and until I nourish myself in Krishna conscious way, I cannot be blissful and smiling to you. I cannot make a drama for a long time if that is not there. If I carry a fragrant material in my pocket, then you will smell it without fail if I pass by you. Similarly, if I'm happy, then you will feel that I'm happy. And why not you also be happy? Why only I should be happy? Happiness is everybody's privilege and opportunity. But how to become happy and how to become a satisfied medical doctor and a devotee doctor, that is the real challenge. वरना दुनिया सब लोग कुत्ते भी जी लेते हैं, उसमें क्या है? What is the big thing? And the dogs live and the cats live, and we also live, and we also die. What is the use of that? Live life king size. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for sharing your valuable time and such a wonderful, pravachan and practical and devotional together. In fact, I just missed one very important thing to share with all of you regarding Vishwarup Prabhu, for which I worship him actually. Whatever he spoke is not just a presentation for you all. He lives by it. Every point, whatever he has spoken, he lives by it. His daughter is actually Divyang, you know, and we saw, when we used to go for yatras, so I used to see that Mataji, his wife of Prabhuji and Prabhuji, how nicely they used to take care. And till now they are taking care, so wonderfully, right? Similarly, I have seen him in Barsana, this compassion part which he has spoken. He, 3, 4 points very solid Prabhu had made. One is about the compassion, which I saw him, practically doing for the people in general. I know about the Nepal thing. I just missed out that time. And thank you very much for reminding me. We were there for 15 days, in fact, not 7 days, 15 days. And I saw Prabhu and one of his friends, both were doctor, in different corners of the gullies and the people's home. They would search the patient instead of the patient searching the doctor. This was the first time I saw that doctor is running behind. Where is the patient? I remember one time I just said, Prabhu, now we don't see any patient here, so better we go. And he said, all the way from Mumbai, I have not come here to rest. I have come here to give some rest to the people. So let us search out where is the pain. That still stick my ears, keep on buzzing me always, search out the pain. And mercy section, which he said that we should have this faith that whatever is happening is the will and the wish of the Lord. And this I saw him in his personal life. Generally, I have seen how people they treat their children who are of this category, Divyang and all that, but how much love they have given. The third thing, which already just right now Prabhu spoke, that unless until that happiness is not there within him, artificially no one can show for so many years, and even right now for 1.5 hour class, right? So when you see him more than a doctor, don't you feel he really looks like a Brajvasi? It's very hardly to believe that he's a doctor. But yes, he's a doctor. He's a doctor of this physical body. He's a doctor of this heart, and he's a doctor of this soul by giving Krishna consciousness. So, Prabhu, I'm really very grateful that you took out your valuable time. You see, we may not be knowing that how much senior they are and how many people are looking for them. And yesterday, as soon as I checked with him that Prabhu, could you please give little time to us? And the answer was immediately yes. I don't know, Maharaj, what Maharaj has fed them. I've never heard no from them till now in my 19 years of Krishna consciousness. So personally, I would love, that you grace me that I also learned this saying yes always and, commit to something. And one more request I have that today we learn how could we, be productive in calamities, how could we be Krishna conscious in calamities, and how Krishna consciousness makes the base of, living a valuable life. So, as you know so much of Vrindavan, if in this Corona time, if you could take us for Vrindavan Yatra also, we'll be grateful.
Online.
Online Yatra. So
Why not?
if you could make us available your
I should tell you that I did about 6 yatras during Corona time online.
Hari bol.
Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri, Mayapur, villages around Barsana, and so many yatras I did. So many yatras.
So maybe one more yatra for us. And
Yes, it's ready. Vrindavan yatra is ready, Prabhuji.
Hari bol. So I will plan out with all the, not only this much student, they are almost 50, they are waiting. Actually, many of them, they wanted to come for the class today. And I had to say them, no, that today is only doctor's time. Right? I wanted to give them a very, one-to-one time with you because this doctor life, they wanted to learn many things from you.
Sure.
So very soon I will be again coming back with a request to you that at least I believe 3 days yatra we should
3
do.
days. I took 3 days, 4 hours every day.
Or I will just check with them if 4 hours they are available or not. But
because Vrindavan is so vast and so,
yes.
So vast, you cannot imagine.
So
and all that I did, and all that I was doing, and I was doing that for building the hospital in Barsana. So everybody was charged very nominal 300 rupees or 400 rupees or 500 rupees. and I did so many yatras that I raised 50 lakh rupees for the
Hari
hospital.
Bol.
Yes.
It's a divine way of raising the fund for the good cause.
Yeah, see, I can ask you, please donate for hospital. But
Yes.
here I thought I give you something, and in response you give donation to Radharani. So you are mutually benefited. You are
I
getting
remember
benefit of donation also, and you are getting benefit of hearing also. Both things are
in
together.
2019, we went for advance party for Vrindavan Yatra, you know,
Oh
where,
yeah, I remember.
yeah, before all the devotees,
1st
6,000-7,000
August to
devotees,
10th August.
10th August. Yes, Prabhu remembers the date. I don't remember.
1st August
So
to 10th August.
I was there with Prabhu and 4-5 more devotees we were there. So I just forgot the Sarovar's name. Uh, where we took bath, Prabhu, do you remember? You know, all of us, you know, that the cloud came and the rain was there. So you won't believe, 1.5 hour we had a class while taking Shabbat. We all were, you know, till half, you know, in the
Gamcha.
water, Gamcha, and Prabhu gave 1.5 hour, you know, Vrindavan Katha there. So when
That
he
is called
said,
as Vatsavan. Vatsavan.
Vatsavan, yes.
Vatsavan. Very
So
beautiful place. It rained like anything there.
when Prabhu say 4 hour, actually it is again very less because 1.5 hour तो एक छोटा सा introduction जो होगा उसके ही details में चला जाएगा आपका. So very
I
soon
had 256 participants
in these
in
yatras,
Vrindavan Yatra
Oh.
online.
Hari Bol.
And
So-
everyone, it was like this. Everyone paid 600 rupees for a full family. So each window was having four people.
Hari Bol.
And altogether it was 600 rupees for all 4 people, 5 people, whatever were there. And we met for 2 hours. First we met for 3 hours twice a day. And then we met for 2 hours twice a day, like that.
So very soon we are coming back, Prabhu, for Vrindavan Yatra because when I am missing Vrindavan Yatra, you know, for since last 2 years not been
It
there.
was a great experience, Ruji. In Vrindavan Yatra online was great experience. We were there actually. I was there, they were there, everybody was there.
Jai, jai. So I hope each of you are ready for the upcoming Vrindavan Yatra.
Rebol.
So you have to unmute yourself and say loud Hari Bol.
Ibo.
For
Jai
Vrindavan
Vrindavan
Yatra,
Dham, Jai Jai Sri Radhe.
Hari Bol, Jai Shri Radhe.
Jai
So,
Shri
thank you very much,
Okay,
Prabhuji, for
okay. So I'll take your leave.
giving you a wonderful association and
Thank you so much.
encouraging us, inspiring us, helping us. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai, thank you so much. Hari